It's not going to be a scholarly thing. Preterism is false and harmful. False because in 2 Thessalonians 2 and Revelation 19, when both talking about Jesus' return to earth, he destroys someone, setting up his kingdom. He's not on earth, so there's no way the Great Tribulation, all that stuff already happened. Jesus is nowhere on earth. Preterism's false just there. In Acts chapter 1, when they're watching the ascension, Jesus leaves, and then two angels come and go, hey, why are you standing here? Going to come back down just the way he went back up. Jesus is not down on earth, so the end hasn't happened. In Matthew, when it's talking about, they're asking when's he going to come, he's going to go, it's going to be like lightning from east to west. And they say that you can measure north to south. You know where the North Pole is, you know where the South Pole is. But east to west, you can't, that it's infinite. So there's going to be no way you're going to miss when it's talking about the lightning. He's just warning people going, hey, when someone says he's out in the desert, don't even go look. When someone says he's in a secret inner room, don't even look. So when someone's saying, oh yeah, he came at Jerusalem, to me that more fits. It's like a little thing, or it's like someone being out in the desert, or it's someone being in a room that, yeah, if you kind of think about it, it kind of fits. And no, when I think he says the lightning thing being like, there's going to be no denial of it. And Jesus is not on earth, so I don't even know how anyone's even arguing that this already happened. A couple more quick reasons. In Thessalonians, Paul writes, when Jesus comes back, he comes with all his saints, and keep watch till he comes back down with all his saints and his angels. The two different verses. So all the saints aren't here, all the angels aren't here, and just one more time, Jesus is not here, so the end has not happened yet. A weaker point with Peter talking about in 2 Peter, the fire that's going to come and destroy and wipe away new heavens, new earth. Obviously, we're not in a new heaven or new earth. Things are still terrible and seemingly only getting worse. Peter wrote that, 2 Peter, say 55 AD, and he was talking about events that were going to happen when Jerusalem was sacked, within 10 to 15 years of when he wrote it. And he's saying, hey, some people are keep going, oh, I don't see this happening. But keep in mind, a day is 1,000 years to the Lord. It fits better, him saying the 1,000 years, that it was going to be a long time from then. Not, why didn't he say, well, keep in mind, with God, a day is 10 years, a day is 15 years. And now the harmful part. I think if you tell someone that all this stuff already happened, that the Bible was only really immediately applicable to people for like 10 to 15 years before all these events transpired, though, the message, all these warnings were really written to them, but us, thousands of years later, none of this really applies. So the Bible is no longer really immediate. It's just like a history book. It's correctly telling you what happened in the past, but it has, it's more of a stretch to be that it's really applicable. Where if, these events didn't happen and God wanted it for all generations to always be going, it might be the end. And Peter even writes about it. What people must you live like if you think that the end's coming? If you think at any point Jesus is coming back, you're going to live differently. It's going to be easier to not get caught up in the things of this world because you go, that's not my place. Not only will it help you not to sin, because it reminds you of the flood, where I think if you treat it as just a history book, it's, more at an arm's distance, and you're just kind of looking, oh, that's neat that stuff happened, and yeah, I get it mentally, but I don't know what this, blah, blah. And you kind of it puts a distance between you and it. But when you're reading it going like, oh, this hasn't happened yet. Oh, we're always supposed to be looking around. This is important. Oh, now there's an urgency and immediacy why I got to be telling people before things get really bad. Whereas if you're telling them, oh, yeah, well, this event happened a long time ago, but none of that really applies because that stuff's all over and the world just keeps getting better. And that's in conflict with the Bible. The Bible is people get worse and worse. False teachers get worse. Love grows cold. I think the other part that makes it harmful is when you treat it like, it's just a history book. All that happened a long time ago. Yeah, God was doing things with them, but God doesn't really care about us. He only wants us to read the book. Them, he had a relationship with. Us, we only live vicariously by looking at how he dealt with them, but he don't care about us really. He just wants us to kind of, he's not going to come here and train us. He just wants us to learn from that. Where if it's just a history book, you're not as much, God's more out of the equation now. You're going, well, he already did his thing. It's already done. He's that kind of out of the equation. Now we're doing these other things. But I think if you're living like other stuff hasn't happened yet, God's still interested in what's going on. And as you're hearing news events and trends, you're more trying to go, well, how's God involved in this and in the picture, and how does then God want me to act? And if these things are going on to these people, then how do I reach them? I think it keeps God in the mix, or in your life, or more that you get to know him, because you try to go, well, how would he want me? What would he want me to do in this situation? Where if it's a history book, I think God's much more removed. You're trying to get people to have this relationship with this historical character, but it's almost like he died all the way back then.